here and what people are saying. Basil's on from Goa, so great to have you here. Happy 2025. Joe's on in North Carolina. Roger's on in Athens. Christopher's on in England. Sarah's on in Germany. Stephen's on in Australia. Is that Ida Marie's on in Washington, D.C. And Joseph's on in Nevada. So we got a good bunch of people already on here. I'm really happy about that. I won't go back and read everything that people have written because I'm guessing you were all talking to each other. So that's fantastic. Welcome, everybody. Today, I was hanging out at the stamp show. Last month, they asked me not to film around with people. I had a couple people, I guess, that were complaining that they didn't want to be caught on camera. So I kind of toned it down a bit. When I go to the stamp show, I go in, I get what I need, and talk to a few people. And then once my budget is spent, I take off. So that's what I did today. Did see a few people there. I might get back into asking a couple of people about whether they want to be interviewed about certain things. There is a lot of knowledge in there. So I would really love to talk to some more people and get some more information from them. So we'll see in the future. We may do that again. For right now, what I've been doing is grabbing some things to talk about in the future. Things to go along with my father's collection. For example, let me let you know here. Someone ask a question here? Nope, no one asked me anything, I guess. So what I did do was I got some pages of British Guyana. If you guys saw that video that I did last week of my father's collection, I went and saw that there were these in the 15-cent albums, the 10-cent albums, and so I got a bunch of pages of stamps. So I probably will show those in the future. I also got some stamps that I have put into some Vario pages. There are a few there, so I will show those after too. And then I got stacks, oh, they're up there now, stacks of stuff that goes along with my father's collection. So I looked at the next few countries coming up in his Americas album and thought, I think I probably could fill that out a bit more, so I actually did. There may be some duplicates, but it's really cool. All right, what are people saying here? I don't want to ignore you and just ramble on about everything. Steven says he's sitting in his chair in his room, so he's up waiting. I should carry a filming disclaimer like they do at the Postal Museum. Possibly. I mean, in order for more people to be on camera. What's flowing somewhere? My son has just hopped in the shower. It's a bad timing that he decided that he would shower at the exact same time my live went on. Stamp shows cure the winter blues. Yeah, there were a lot of really good things there. And once again, could have spent way more money. The auction items, there were a lot of really cool things in there too. But I figured I got what I needed. And there'll be another show next month. So we'll see what happens. I'm always kind of looking ahead too to try to see giveaways that I've got planned, looking for things for that, so I know what's coming up for the next couple months as far as my giveaways and my topics, so I kind of look around for those sort of things too. Roger says he wishes there was a stamp show in Athens, and Stephen and Basil seem to be talking about something about being old. I'm not sure about that. Welcome, Joe. Glad you could join the chat today. Item Race, she's got a small stamp show in February and one in April. She might get a chance to go. Basil just came from a stamp show, I think. Got another one coming up in Goa. Okay. Hasn't had a stamp show since 2021. All right. So yeah, so I enjoyed the stamp show. There were a lot of things, but what I did is I went to my usual spot, sat down with the 10-cent albums, found a bunch of things really quickly, and then realized, okay, I better slow down because otherwise I will break the bank, and I don't want to do that. So I talked to a couple people around, but if I must be honest, I was probably pretty antisocial today. I kind of went in with a focus of what I wanted. I wrote down a list of the countries I was looking for and some topics, and that was it. I went in, found it, got out. So I was there probably an hour at the most. All right, it's been a little while since you were on, Joe. Yeah, it's great, but glad you finally made it. Christopher said he picked up a Stanley Gibbons British stamp album from 2022 for only £3. Wow, that's a real good deal. You got a steal on that one for sure. Joe wishes there was a stamp show near him. Well, depends on what you qualify as near, I guess. You might have to go to the next major city, but there's probably something around. I know Florida is not really close, but in proximity. Last time I was in Florida, there were a bunch of flea markets that we went to while we were there, and they all had stamp stuff in the flea markets. So there's things you could find cheap. At the time, I wasn't buying a lot of it, but I did take notice of a bunch of stuff that was there. Joseph said he used to collect stamps a lot and was a board member of the Philatelic Society, attending a stamp show every few months, but we've not been to a stamp show for over 20 years. Oh, that's a shame. Hopefully you're still collecting, though, a little bit on the side at least. 4 hours away. Well, you could make a weekend of it. Or a really long day if you drove there, stayed for a couple hours and drove back. But could be fun. Go stay in a hotel somewhere, enjoy the show, come back the next day. Well, no stamp shows near Christopher. I wonder where the nearest one would be for you, Christopher. There are some, well, there are a lot of stamp things happening in England, so I'm sure there are stamp shops and shows around. Maybe not in Falmouth, but somewhere close by. Media's on from the Metro in Helsinki. She'll be part of the replay crew later on, but she was at a meetup, so that was really cool. 26 people at the meetup, she told me. Fantastic. And it's been snowy there as well. Lots of snowstorms coming through. Stephen's last stamp show was in Adelaide 5 years ago. Only stamp shop in North Carolina is about 4 hours away. Wow. You know what? Brick and mortar stamp shops in some places, yeah, there are lots of them. For the most part, they're disappearing because you can get a lot of stuff online. Hi and bye, Media. Thanks for joining. And welcome when you're watching as a part of the replay crew later on. Yeah, so you can get a lot of stuff online. So the need for a brick and mortar building has become less and less. Places like Liverpool Stamps, you can go online and find stamps for there. You can go to eBay. You can go to a local marketplace online. People that are getting rid of their collections on Facebook Marketplace. There are lots of options for it. Hip Stamp, if you're looking for a particular stamp. When are we expected to have more snow here? I don't know. We get like 1 or 2 centimeters flurries here and there. I can see grass in my front yard. I can show you. I could walk you outside and have a look. There's not a lot of snow here. Just a bare amount. If you watch my stamp versus stamp video with Smokey, about that much is on the ground. So just enough that you can see the grass poking through, but not much more than that. It's like 3 degrees here today. It's crazy that we're the middle of January. Still haven't had really any snow to speak of, any real amount. We did have a white Christmas, which was nice, but it hasn't been dreadfully cold. We did have a few cold days here and there, but so far, it's been a good winter. Hope it stays that way. I know the U.S. and some of central Canada has been getting hit harder with snowstorms, but here on the east coast of Canada, we haven't yet. Christopher says he used eBay and a company called Albany stamps. Joe said he found the 1983 Canadian 7-coin proof set on eBay for $20. For you're gonna buy it for your birthday. That's a good deal. Yeah, get it. That'll get your birthday year, all the coins all at once, and it's a nice set too. Steven says Stamp World is both a stamp catalog and a place where you can buy stamps, and he sells some stamps there. So there you go. Shout out to Stamp World. None of these are sponsors of the channel, but if they ever want to be, they can be, and I can give them more shout outs. All right, we're gonna walk you real quick, and you can see the front yard like I was talking about. So turn it around. That's it. See? Grass, bare amount of snow there, a little bit of snow at the edge where the plow would have gone in the past, but my driveway's clear, the mailbox, the trees, so it looks wintry, especially for those of you who are in non-snow countries. But for us, you get a light snowfall coming down. For example, we went out to sup last night, the three of us. My daughter's back at university, and it is Burger Fest happening here in Moncton. And so we went out and enjoyed Burger Fest. And we went to the restaurant, and my son Ari was in his pajama bottoms and a light hoodie. So that's how warm it is out there. We did suggest that he be in a jacket, but he thought, oh no, I'm in a hoodie, that's good enough. What can you tell 18-year-olds anyways? So that's what happened. Item Marie says, enough snow for loveliness. Yeah, the basic amount. It's actually a pretty good amount to have to make it feel like winter, but not really bothersome. There's not enough snow for a snowman, no. If you go to Ohio or someplace like that that has a lot more snow, I'm sure they've got bigger snowmen. We'll just remove that comment. Why don't we have any border fences on my property? I don't know. Who am I keeping out and who am I keeping in? Why do I need a fence? A lot of properties don't bother having fences around their properties unless they have a swimming pool or something in it, or a dog that needs to be kept in so it doesn't run away. No snow in Goa, but some in North India does. Roger, when I grew up, the house that I showed in, I guess, the video of Stamp versus Stamp right at the end, that kind of was covered over, I guess, for some of you, but it had a fence around the back. It wasn't all the way around, that you could get it from the driveway on the side, but it had fence there just because that's where the garden was. So we had plants and things that grew up it. So that's what we had for a fence. Open plan. Yeah, the neighborhood's pretty much open plan here. Like I said, there are a few people that do have fences because they have a swimming pool in the backyard, or a dog that needs to be trapped in so it doesn't run away. Has any of us built snowmen? Definitely have built snowmen, yeah. Joe, I saw that same one where he built a snowman over a stump, and some bozo came by with his truck to try to knock it over and ran into the stump and destroyed his vehicle instead. Is the H.E. Harris still a stamp company in business? I don't know. I've never heard of it. My mother used to get a lot of stamps from them when she collected about 50 years ago. They were in eastern U.S., as I recall. Were they a mail order stamp company? Because now I'm kind of ringing familiar whether or not that was something my father would have used if it was he found them in catalogs. Item Marie said she saw online a snow dog and a snow cat. Do you mean rather than a snowman, someone had built those instead? Gotta get creative. Who is the guy that says bye at the end of my videos? That's my brother Eric. Yep. Snow hedgehog? That would be very small. You could make it out of a snowball, I guess. So Joseph, I don't have an answer to your question whether that company's still in business or not. I don't know if anybody else has. You probably could Google it and find out if they're still out there. My keyboard is put away. I pushed it aside so I can make room for my camera now. Oh, Carlos on from Mexico again. Welcome back. In Mexico City, we don't have snow, but in the northern states, they have. Must be in the mountains, do they? In the northern states? Because you're still pretty far south in northern Mexico. Christopher, I've had postcards that travel over a year. Definitely expire, but sometimes they get registered late. Yeah, they take a long time sometimes, depending on what country. I know I've got some, well, going to Russia, going to China. I've even got one in the US that has been traveling for 250 days or something. So it must be a post-crosser that is no longer doing post-crossing, or the card has gotten destroyed in a machine or something along the way. Something like that can happen. It's Russia. Yeah. Sometimes they take a very long time. And sometimes post-crossers stop doing post-crossing. So when they get the card, they sometimes don't register them. So it's a shame that happens, but it does happen from time to time. Snow Dog was created on a beach in Maryland. Okay. Thank you, Stephen, for checking in on that H.E. Harris still has a website for philatelic material. Yeah, we hope everybody in the Los Angeles, Southern California area is okay with all the wildfires. I know there's a Canadian crew that's down there now, and a Mexican crew's come up, and a crew from South Africa has arrived. Good morning, Christopher. Welcome. Nice to have West Coast US represented here today. I guess you probably could call Nevada the West, but not Coast. Another Chris. Yeah, we got a lot of Chris's. 2 today, but we've had more. As far as I know, Basil, you're the only Basil we've ever had on here. So, Mystic Stamp Company. Can't say that I have heard of it. It sounds mysterious. Roger says, I noticed that all mail, no matter what, goes through Germany. Wonder why. I think it was because of it. I don't understand the statement, Roger. Common people, Christophers? Not common people. A name that is familiar and well used. You don't have to be common. there you go. So if people want to check out Mystic Stamp Company, you might find some deals there. Thanks for letting us know, Joe. Anything lined up for the week to follow? Yes, I am going to continue with my father's stamp collection, the series. We are continuing with South America. So we will have a video for that next week. I'm hoping to wrangle my son into doing a Lego video with me. I don't know if you can see it. That box has arrived from Lego.ca. And so there's a couple things in there that I would do an unboxing and show. Also got some minifigures for Christmas, so it'd be nice if we put some of those together on camera. So I'd like to have that video next week. Might do a post-crossing video if some of my cards start arriving. I sent 25 out, so I have one that has arrived, so I have a slot for one more address I can do. I do have a bunch of friend mail to respond to, but I think we are going to be using a lot of these postcards to cover that for people that have written in, and I have to get back answers to, so that's going to be coming up. We did do a choose how we decorate video this week, a live video, so we might do another one of those next week. Just some of the things in the works. Christopher, depends on what the postcard is going to, coming from postcrossers to China take about 35 days to arrive from here, 28 days to arrive from there. Most mail arrives in about a month. Okay, so that's the distance from Australia for him. Roger's clarifying, says all mail goes through Germany instead of going straight to the destination. I don't know. Is that a mail hub? That doesn't seem right. It seems if you were to send something from Greece to England, it would go through England and not have to go through Germany at all. That doesn't make any sense to me personally, but can you give us a bit more notice of a live card creation? I will do my best. This past week, work has been really busy, and my daughter was still here, so I was trying to spend some time with her and do some things. So it was one of those last minute. I've got a day. I don't have a regular video coming out. Let's do a live stream. So I didn't really give any notice. And that's why I only had Sarah and Media. Those were the two main ones that were on it. Joe popped on later on. So it was really Sarah and Media who helped design that card that went out. So if I can, I will plan a day and I will put up something ahead of time to let you know what's happening. Good series. Item Marie, what's a good series? Sorry, I might have missed something along the back end of what you might have said before. Trust my card reaches you soon. Sent on the 26th of December. Oh, be nice. Yes, thank you. You enjoyed the series. Thank you, Christopher. And other Christopher has got some stamps sent from Mystic's catalog. Check my mail carefully and you'll see. Okay. Good stamp versus stamp video this past week. Seeing two towns. Thank you for watching that. I felt bad. Smokey's video was 21 minutes long. Mine was 8.5 minutes long. When I went outside, I filmed and I got back in. I didn't spend a whole lot of extra time. I didn't even spend enough time on the stamps, like giving you the Scott catalog number to find them. So looking back on it now, Smokey's by far the superior video that came out. I did like showing you some of the places that I had, and I talked maybe a bit more in his video about the places I was at too. There was some good reminiscing on it, but we both agreed we will try to do another video like that in our cities in the summertime when we have a bit more warmth to be outside and talk. Has all the mail been caught up from the strike? No, not yet. So we're still working through it. No, I don't think it'll take a little while yet, especially where countries... Now, Canada Post has put out a blanket statement saying that we are now back up to honoring regular delivery times for parcel delivery. So the parcels may be caught up. The regular mail coming in from all over the world still a little bit behind, I would say. The statements for people's banks and bills and things like that still aren't 100% caught up yet, but we're getting there. Oh, my father's stamp collection series, you like that? It's good. I really liked the switch that I've done this year because it's more educational for me, hopefully for you as well. But I'm learning more about the countries and getting a bit more background knowledge before I talk about it. So we spend more time looking at just a few countries rather than flipping through pages and pages of stamps and maybe not retaining some of the information. So I'm half contemplating going back into some of the other countries that we've talked about in the past and maybe doing more in-depth videos on those individual countries. Now, after I've gone through all the other stuff, of course. I don't think we have to go back right away. Stephen, can you translate? There's something that's popped up and I can't read it. But you might be able to. I wish there was a translator app on there that would just translate it in English for me. Hopefully it's hello. Yeah, Smokey did the video from his car. I could have done that. I like the fact that I could walk around and kind of show you the videos. I could have done that too, but maybe he's just smarter than me. That's very possible too. I won't deny that. What's the next country in my South American that I will show in my stamp collection? You will have to wait to see next week. I am not going to spoil that surprise. That's one of the things that I like to be able to do is surprise you a little bit. If it was the sort of thing that I was saying, okay, next month I'm going to have a video, it's going to be about this. If you want to contribute to it, that would be one thing. I know Stephen has inside information about what my Stamp of the Month videos are going to be coming up because he participates and helps in the giveaway. So I've given him that inside information. Must have been so cold. It was cold. You can see I was dressed up. I didn't have a hat on though, so I could have been more prepared that way. Could have put a scarf on. I just went outside, filmed, and jumped back in the car. And it did cause me problems because the first time I filmed it twice, as the end of my video kind of shows that when my car was running, if it was close by, it picked up the audio from my camera, so my videos didn't have any audio in it. So I filmed a bunch of stuff. I didn't look at the video right after I filmed it, got in, went to the next location, filmed again. And so by the time I got home, all of the video that I shot that day was pretty much all garbage because none of it had audio or it only had partial audio, depending on how close I was to my vehicle. So the next day I went back, reshot everything, and made sure my car was turned off every time I turned on my camera to film. So that's why the very last clip, you see my house that I grew up at, I'm talking all the way through that and telling you all about, you know, the 9 of us that lived there and what the house looked like before and the color and all that stuff. But the audio is all gone. So I just kind of put a text over it and made that my blooper for the day. Vicar of Dibley stamps out on the 14th of January in the UK, so on Tuesday. Okay, I'm not familiar with the Vicar of Dibley. Is it a TV show? Is it a personage? Stephen says, by the way, the envelope your Christmas card came in was an official first day cover. The stamp was issued and postmarked on November 1st. Really? Okay. I did not know that. And I kind of wish I did know that because I tore the stamp off when I got rid of the envelope. I put the Christmas card in my collection and then got rid of the envelope trying to clean up and make space. So, sorry. Thank you, Stephen, for the translation on that. Wishing me health. Appreciate that. Comedy TV show. That's what the Vicar of Dibley is. Okay, kind of figured it probably was a TV show. Welcome, Gary from Surrey in British Columbia. Another West Coast person on, West Coast Canadian this time. You always seem to join the live stream about 30 minutes in when you come on. Now, I know it's only 8:30 in the morning for you now, Gary, but thanks for joining. You can go back part of the replay crew to find out what we talked about before. And we've been kind of all over the place, talking a bunch of different things. We talked a bit about the stamp show I went to this morning, and kind of gave you a brief overview of some of the things that I bought there. I probably will have a video out, Basil, when you're talking about other things that will come up next week. I probably will show the British Guyanese stamps that I got at the stamp show, and some of the random countries I kind of picked too. That will be a video coming up. Might be a video tomorrow, actually. Normally tomorrow's my outgoing post crossing, but I don't have any addresses other than the one to do. And my friend mail stuff, a lot of it's going to be Santa letters, so I'm going to collect some more of them from work. I'll go talk to the supervisors and make sure they'll allow me to take a few more, so I can fill the demand of the people that are asking for them now. Hopefully, Basil, you look forward to all the episodes, not just the stamp episodes. Yes, I know stamps are your passion, though. And I do put out quite a few stamp videos, so you get at least one a week about my father's collection. Once a month you get Stamp of the Month. Well, actually twice a month, because the giveaway is another episode that happens in the month, and that'll be at the end of the month this time, waiting for some of the package of giveaway stuff to arrive. And then Stamp versus Stamp, which this month, I must say on my part, wasn't a lot of stamps to it, because there was only 5 stamps in it, and I didn't spend a lot of time talking about them. So we will have to rectify that, Smokey and I, for next month, whatever the theme happens to be, to try to spend a little bit more time on the stamps. Stephen says, the Vicar of Dibley is about a woman vicar in a traditional English village. Stars Dawn French. Very funny. I may have seen it. I'm not sure. I do rural mail delivery, Gary. Yep. Do I have a right-hand drive truck to do that? I do not. No. I drive my own vehicle. And whenever I get to a mailbox that's out the window, now I only have 5 mailboxes that are roadside. The rest of my rural customers are in community mailboxes. But the 5 that I do have, I have to put my car in park and put the turn signal on, put the window down, crawl across the front seat through the passenger window and deliver the mail. That's how I do those. Christopher says, it was a very funny show, and most of the cast have now passed away, because I guess it's a little bit older. Does your post office put the red Santa mailbox out in your town during December for Santa's mail? No. We don't do that. If you have Santa letters, you put them in your outgoing mailbox, and your mailman or mailwoman, your mail carrier, will pick them up as they go by. So I've had a lot of letters. I did have some letters that I saw coming back from the strike that kids, they're just writing to Santa. So sometimes they're cutting out pictures from magazines or newspapers of things that they like, and they put them on a page, they glue them down. They might say, please, from Santa, and ask, and they might put their name at the end. Some of them don't even put their address. Mom and Dad haven't helped them to do that. So it becomes a real chore for Santa to be able to figure out who that person is to send a letter back. So parents, if you're out there and your children are writing to Santa Claus, give them a little hand and at least put your address on that, so Santa can find a way to send a letter back. Anne Marie says, rural mail delivery, a good part of U.S. postal history. Good part of Canadian postal history, too. Is Canada Post privately owned or nationally owned? It is nationally owned. It is a Crown corporation. So it's not directly owned by the government. So that's what Crown corporation means. It's not directly owned by the government. So taxpayers' taxes don't go to pay for it. It is run purely on the profit and losses. Vicar of Dibley aired from 1994 to 2000. Is the route I deliver to more urban or suburban? I would say my route is more urban. So I am really close to the urban letter carriers and where they're delivering. I see them, I pass them each day. Um, I would say I'm delivering in a city, but I'm outside. They have what's called an iron ring, and everything within that iron ring belongs to the urban letter carriers, and everything outside of it's part of the rural. So we're called rural suburban mail carriers, RSMCs, and so yeah. So sometimes we're way out in the country and we're delivering really rural, and sometimes we are still within city limits. So my route is still within city limits. Ida Marie's met quite a few rural postal carriers at the museum. I don't know if you can see, yes you can't, this angle. There. That is a really old sign for a rural mail carrier. You see it there, rural mail. So it is a metal sign with a little suction cup at the bottom that all of our cars, well before me though, had to put on top of the roofs to let people know that we were Canada Post employees. Well, we weren't employees at that point. We were contractors. So I started as an employee. So after those signs were long gone. And I came across someone when I was working in a rural post office who was a rural carrier long ago. And they gave me that sign. They still had it. So that's where that bit of history comes from. It wasn't until we unionized and came under Canada Post and under a different collective agreement. That's why we're separate from the letter carriers, and we have different rules and regulations for rural than the urban people do. All things that we're fighting for in these contracts and negotiations. So this current one, we're trying to put us all into one group with the same benefits. I don't think it will happen, but that's what we're fighting for. Gary says having the HOHO postal code for Santa Mail must help so much. It certainly helps getting it there, but what we really need is the help getting the letters back to the kids. So having their proper postal codes helps more than putting Santa's address on. We know how to get to Santa. It's getting Santa's cards back. U.S. mail has a federal aspect because of the postal strike of the 70s. Hope I'm correct. Okay, I hope you're correct too. I don't know. I should do a episode on rural mail carriers. Actually, I have. You have to go back and look. I think I've done 3 episodes about rural mail carriers. One of them about the uniforms we wear. I've done a day of my job. You can see that and see how we deliver. I've done one about the reaching device that I'm a trainer for, that rural carriers have to use in order to get out the window to open mailboxes and things like that. So yeah, so there's some videos out there if you want to see what my job is all about as a rural carrier. They're probably in one of the playlists called Canada Post. So of the 1,200 videos that I've made, my day-to-day job video is the most popular. I don't know, it's got like 20,000 views or something to it. So if you want to find it, it's out there. Just gotta look at the right playlist. Did I miss anything else? I just had a text pop up. I think we're up to date. Keep them coming. I like being able to talk about all these different topics. Do you ever go to any of your local stamp shops? No, because the only stamp shop we have a place called the Coin Cabinet, and they used to have a lot of stamps in it. I don't believe they carry much of any stamps anymore, so I don't have a local stamp shop. So the stamp shows that I have every month coming to town, those are my best option for getting stuff. I didn't really look back. Carla has a great aunt that lives with her. She's 94 years old and tells me how mail has changed over the years. Yeah, mail has changed a whole lot over the years. Oh, Eric's on from Hong Kong. Welcome. Eric, your message from Instagram just popped up on my screen a minute ago. I haven't been able to go and look at it because we're here doing this live stream. Eric has been sending me pictures of delicious food in Hong Kong. He's also explained a few things about his job and some of the transit systems and all wonderful things. So I'm learning lots of stuff about that. Carla says her aunt also helps her choose postcards that she sends through postcasting. That's great. Keep her involved. At 94, she probably has many, many stories. I know my father will be 92 in a couple months here, so he certainly has lots of stories. Some of them are even true. He's at that stage with his dementia that some of his stories get a little muddled, but there is truth in there. Mail delivery by horse to the bottom KF. I'm not, what's KF? Yeah, you go back far enough before cars. We had lots of horse delivery and canoe delivery, and however it took for the mail to get to where it needed to get to, they did it. Oh, the Grand Canyon. Yeah, I know I have not been to the Grand Canyon, but I've seen enough episodes about it on YouTube and things like that that have talked about the mail carriers and things to get to the tribes. What was the there was a movie. It wasn't all that successful. Was it Don Johnson? No. What's his name? There was a movie about the mail and on horse and things. Some of you know what I'm talking about. Some of you are off into space and you're just saying, what's this crazy guy talking about? Let's get the right actor anyways. Who's the actor from Dances with Wolves? I love the fact that Carla's aunt is involved too in post-crossing. That's great. Postman. Yeah, I should have come up with that. Yeah, the postman. Talks about how the mail was delivered. At least some snippets of truth in there with Kevin Costner. Thank you. Everybody get on board. Getting my brain, getting everything going in the right place. Kevin Costner and the Postman. Yeah. That's the movie that's running through my mind right now. Okay, everybody knows it was Kevin Costner. Thank you, thank you. You're all very helpful. And at least 3 of you know what I'm talking about, so that's good. If you guys really want a good current movie, though, about the Post and World War II and a bit of U.S. history, you guys watch the 8666? It's on Netflix. It's about the battalion of African American women that go overseas to try to sort out the mail situation so the troops can get their mail and for the mail that comes from the troops can get back to their homes. Really good. Hope I get a movie role playing myself. I think I'm doing it right now, Basil. This is my movie acting life right now on YouTube. Joe said he just saw a short video on TikTok about that movie this morning. Are we talking about the Postman or the 8666? Or I think I'm a natural. I'm a natural at doing something, I guess. Everyone should check out Tommy Tricker and the Stamp Traveler. The 888s. What was I saying? I think I was saying 666s. Yeah, 888s. Not 666, the number of the beast. I think I got enough stuff going on now, Basil. The last thing I need to be is in the movies. Nor do I think I have the capacity for it, memorizing all those lines. So I can't even remember Kevin Costner and the Postman, and that should be pretty easy to come up with. Tommy Tricker and the Stamp Travelers from the 80s. Haven't heard about it, but I'm sure it's great. I'm just opening a new column now in my thing to write it down so I don't forget. It does not even look familiar. I don't know. It came out in 1988. I see that. It takes place in Canada. Yeah, it doesn't look familiar. So the movie that I was referring to is called The 688s. So there was a 6 in there. It wasn't triple sixes. 688s. Great movie. Check it out on Netflix if you want to. What are my plans for the rest of the day, Christopher? Grocery store. Probably watching some YouTube. Might even get some more laundry in. I did 3 loads of laundry yesterday. There's still more laundry to be done. But the big thing probably will be going to fill the fridge back up again. And then we'll see about tonight. We've got to figure out on supper and all those fun things to do. I've been putting some of the stamps away that I got today, so that's already done. I do have some postcards that I should print off addresses for, so I might do that, print off a bunch of addresses so I know how many of these Santa cards I'm going to need to request. And I might even get a couple of the French ones too. So that's my plan. I'm not sure what your plan is. I know you're 5 hours ahead of me, so you're probably thinking about supper at this stage of the game. 15 people on now. We're missing some notable people, but I'm glad for all the ones that have made it on today. Basil's going to be alone for 10 days starting on Monday. Your mom going off somewhere else, is she? Oh, you get a chance to use that fancy new washing machine. Have everything all cleaned up before she gets back. Do I use my scanner printer? I definitely use it. This one up here, I don't use nearly as much. That was my color printer, and it got so expensive for the ink and stuff that I got a new one. Well, it's not new anymore, but this is the one that I use now. So it has a scanner on it, and it's my printer. I use it all the time. Maybe it's finally home, and she's got 15 centimeters of snow. Yeah, you've got a nice little... I also have this little printer. Oh no, I pressed the button. That one. That is my address printer. And I've just wasted one label off of it. I do have to order some more labels. So that is these rolls here. I only have one roll left, so I'm gonna have to order some more of those. So that might be something else I have to do today. What's the oldest stamp I have? A penny black. The very first stamp. I have one of those, so that's my oldest stamp. The album shelf. This one back here is an IKEA shelf, that big white one. You can see some of the shelves are buckling a little bit under the weight of the stamps. Getting some messages coming in from my sister. I'll check those out after here in a bit. Christopher says it's 5:45 here. Don't usually have evening mail till 8:30 when the wife gets home from work. Wow. She's working on a Saturday first, and then she comes home really late. Hopefully you have all the supper waiting for her when she gets there, so she doesn't have to do any more work. Stamp albums are heavy. Yes, they are. When am I going to do another stamp soaking video? Is that something you want to see? I have lots of stamps to soak. So I've got a pile of them over here that need to be soaked off. And something I could do this week. Gary's yet to have snow yet this season in the lower mainland. Stamp albums do weigh a ton. Yes, they do. All that paper. So what do you want to see from a stamp soaking video? Not me just putting them in water and taking them off. Well, she's a carer and works 12-hour days. Well, thank her from all of us, especially with those of us that have parents that need to have carers. So thank you very much. Hard job. The Rockies have snow for skiing. That's good. Oh, you collect vintage stamp albums. You would have liked today at the auction then, because there was a auction lot of vintage albums there. Is my printer H4 or H3 compatible? Or A4, A3, standard 8.5 by 11, so I think that's an A4 sheet. Eric says it's pretty cool in Hong Kong. It can be below 10 degrees Celsius in Hong Kong. That's one day with no heat here. Below 10 degrees Celsius is still warm for, well, not warm, but still nice. It's not cold like we've had minus 40 before and things like that. Not this winter yet, though. Stamp soaking episode would be fun. Okay, I'll put it in my mind that that's something you guys want to see again. I've got stuff to do, so we can do that. $20 for a random bag of Canadian stamps and paper. That might be a bit pricey, but depending on what you get, I guess. Roger's thinking about getting an A3 sometimes for a printer. Yeah, I could do a video and overlay some music and just have showing stamps that are soaking. If that's something you're interested in, yeah, I can do that. Gary says plus 10 Celsius. That's t-shirt weather. As Canadians, it is, yes. There's a place in Scotland that reached minus 18 degrees this week. We've had that here earlier this week. I think Monday or Tuesday I was delivering mail, and it was minus 20 with the wind chill. So yeah, Eric, you work hard with that recycling business. That's for sure. 40 degrees Fahrenheit plus on Monday. So it's getting a little chillier there. Well, you're getting lots of snow too, so it makes sense that it would be colder. Oh, 1,000 stamps for $20. Okay, that's not too bad then, Gary. Have I ever used a stamp drying book? I have not, no. I use paper towel. And then Once they are dry and not sticky anymore, they get flattened in an envelope. Lila, oh, welcome, Lila's on. She loves her stamp drying book, a game changer. Well, maybe I should look on Amazon and look into one, or look on Shein or Temu or something like that, see what's out there. Use baby powder if they're still sticky. Hello, hello, Lila. Lila. Lily. I have troubles with the drying books if I don't make sure the glue is gone, otherwise they stick to the plastic divider pages. Alright, so I guess that's where the baby powder would come in handy. Got a bunch of stuff to send you next month. I'm going to make you a stamp drying book and send it to you next. Okay, I'll hold off looking for one if you're going to send one this way for me to test. The stamps dry flat. Well, I figured that would be the advantage of that. Christopher, we do it the same way, yeah. Put it on kitchen roll. But you do sometimes get that little bit of curl. That's why I usually press them in an envelope after they're all completely dried. Eric says below 0 degrees, our emergency response choppers cannot work. Not certified people get up too often the hill and get stuck there. Get down to like freezing, and the Hong Kong is going to get shut down. Well, maybe you don't get that cold too often. Hopefully Hong Kong doesn't get shut down. Ida Marie does it on paper towel as well. I'm worth trying out a drying book, seeing how it works. Eric's waiting for his postcards to get to me. I'm not sure how long it's going to take, but you tune into those Friday videos and you will see when it does arrive. It'll be there. It was really nice this week to have a big stack of mail come in. Some nice surprises. Oh yeah, the other video, Basil, that'll be out this week. I had a bunch of stamps that did arrive in envelopes, so there'll be a video about that as well. Probably Monday. Lila broke her ankle. Be out of commission for a few weeks. I miss writing postcards right now. Oh, yikes. Well, get well soon. Hopefully if your ankle's broken and you're sitting down, maybe you can write some postcards, but you just can't get them to the mailbox to mail them. Would Gary say drying books and then put on a couple of albums on top to press them flat? Well, all that weight will certainly press them flat. Joe used to use wax paper before the drying books. Christopher said, I tried a bit of lemon juice in water for self-adhesive stamps and it seemed to work. Well, that makes sense. I've shown videos on. Give me one moment here. I've done videos about this stuff, Pure Citrus, which is probably why your lemon juice works, and Goo Gone is another product that I've used as well for self-adhesive stamps. They work well. Roger soaks them overnight in warm water, then puts them to dry in kitchen towels with the board weight. So yeah, similar pattern to what I do with most of the stamps. Yeah, Joseph, there was a good amount of postcards that came in last week, so really happy about that we're getting some catch up. I'm getting to hear from my friends again, so yeah, I was really happy with the mail that came in. Eric's getting ready to go to bed. I guess it's 1 a.m. Well, Stephen, it's even later for him, but I do appreciate it, Eric, that you popped on to say hello from Hong Kong. Nice to have people from around the world. Gary wants advice. This is what I would use. This works great for self-adhesive stamps. Couple quick sprays, and then just take a knife. Oh, the paper comes right off. So That's the number one thing that I've used, but Goo Gone works as well too. This stuff, I don't know if you're going to be able to get it in Surrey. I don't think it's in Canada at all. I drove down to Maine on a trip and picked some up at Home Depot. So you probably can order it off Amazon, but that's what I did. Maybe a lot more expensive that way to ship it in. Ida Marie says Elvis Presley is 90 years old this month. As far as I know, Elvis Presley is dead, but he would be 90 years old. Okay. Joe uses Goo Gone. Gary uses Goo Gone. I haven't tried it yet though, so okay. Roger sending his prayers and hopes for Los Angeles. Well, folks, it's been an hour. Yeah, Gary, you don't have very far to go to get to the U.S. border. 15 minutes. Yeah, just go over to Bellingham or wherever, and you can pick some up. Steven's got a citrus spray at his local hardware shop. Works well, but gives his wife a headache. I really like this citrus spray because it smells like oranges, so I don't think you go wrong with the smell of oranges around. Christopher says, it's been fun. Thank you. That's what I was about to say. So as everything else has been coming on, I just want to say thanks, everybody, for giving me your time, tuning in, being a part of this, asking questions, giving statements, and giving me something to talk about for the last hour. Hopefully you guys enjoy the rest of your weekend, whatever you guys are up to, and keep that notification bell on. I'll have other videos coming out on stamps, on postcards, on whatever happens to be going on in my life at the time. And for that, I will say, have a magical week.